Tonight, from Heck Edmondson Pavilion, the Sehome Mariners meet the Mount Vernon Bulldogs in district finals. This is a highly anticipated matchup, as Sehome and Mount Vernon are rated #1 and #2 in the state. Sehome has beat Mount Vernon 3 times earlier this season, but Mount Vernon is hoping the 4th time's a charm. Pat Critter's Mariners battle Mac Frazier's Bulldogs next on Viacom's Game of the Week. Yeah!
Good evening once again, sports fans. Well, our game of the week is a championship game, and we're at Edmondson Pavilion on the University of Washington campus to watch and call for you the 4th meeting of the season between these two teams, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs and the Sehome Mariners. And those 3 losses you see in the Mount Vernon record all have been at the hands of the Sehome Mariners. Well, I'm Rod Belcher, ready to call the play-by-play action. And with me, as usual, is Joe Richer, the ex-Everett High coach. And this is kind of the climax to a great season for both these teams, Joe.
Yeah, it really is, Rod. It's a climax for a great season for you and I as well here with Viacom. This should be a great game tonight. Got a great facility to have the game in. A lot of enthusiasm around here, so it should be a good one.
2 teams from the northwest part of the state, and they're terrific rivals, have been through the years and this season especially. And even though Sehome has won all 3 games they've played, well, you never know. Maybe the team goes to the well once too often and something else might happen. You never know. Okay, let's talk a little bit about these teams. And first, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, who are under Coach Mac Frazier. You see Mac there in his 10th year with a great record of 21-3 and ranked #2 in the state. And they just did beat Redmond to come to this position, 46-44. That's kind of a rarity for them to score that few points and also to win by a small margin like that. At any rate, they've had great success with their 2 big men inside, Taylor Jones and Grant Leap. And you see what they did in the last game. Although they only scored 46 points as a team, those guys had most of the points for them. Let's hear from Coach Mac Frazier as we taped this earlier, and he talks here about the rivalry between these 2 teams. Mac?
Intense. We have a real good rivalry with Sehome. It's been that way. It's a rivalry because both teams have won games. It's never a rivalry if one team's winning all the time. And we've had a real healthy rivalry between the 2 squads. They've obviously got the best of us this year, but we've played very well with them in the past. And I think it's been 2 schools that really want to get after each other, athletes that are good athletes and capable players on each side. And the games have really usually meant something. They've mattered. It's meant first in the league or first or second place or something like that. And it's going to be that same type of intensity that we're going to get Saturday night. I think I'm proud of quite a few things with this year's team. You know, to come as far as they did from last year. We didn't make the playoffs last year. We were a very inexperienced young team. I'm proud of how much they worked in the spring and the summer. They played over 50 games, almost 60 games. They paid the price, you know, individually and as a team to get better. And it was real important to them to not go through what they went through last year, and they came into practice really ready to practice this year, and they really wanted to be on time to everything, to work as hard as they possibly could and do those sorts of things. And it just kind of snowballed. They wanted to make the season as good as they possibly could, and they really did. And with the trip to state, you can tell that, well, you've really done a good job. Well, we'll probably play a lot of the same things that we've done in the past. We've gotten better each time we've played them. We've improved quite a bit score-wise, but not just score-wise. You could tell how we played the game. We'd improved a lot. There's always some games that you might do a little bit something different, but you won't drastically change exactly what you're doing. We're happy with the things that we've done. It's got us 21 victories over some very good teams. The only team we've lost to has been Sehome. So we're pretty happy and pretty satisfied with the things that we've done, and we just feel that we need to play harder, play better, shoot better, just those little basketball things, because those are the things that you're going to have to do well at the state tournament. You got to play better defense. You have to rebound better. And it's just kind of little basketball things, taking care of the basketball, those sort of things. So that's what we're going to try to do Saturday night is take care of those things and continue to play the way we've been playing.
And if they continue the way they've been playing, they're going to be all right, Joe.
Yeah, I think so. And I thought he brought up a good point there, probably showing his experience down here at the state tournament. Oftentimes coaches will try to change a few things up, add a few new wrinkles in there, and really, it's not the time to do it. You just want to go out there and get your kids executing what they've been doing all year. That's what Coach Frazier said, and play better defense and knock those foul shots down.
Okay, let's turn our attention to the Sehome Mariners. There's their record, and there's their coach, and that name is spelled wrong. Of course, his name is not Fritter, it's Fitterer, Fitterer. And we're sorry that the name came up that way. But anyway, Pat, who comes from a great basketball family, is in his 12th year as coach of Sehome. And as they beat Mercer Island resoundingly, Mark Spink, who's come on awful strong toward the end of the season, had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And the small guy, Jared Stevenson, chipped in with 14. But they have a complete roster of people that can score, Joe, and even some bench people that can, too.
Yeah, I think that's the real difficult thing about playing Sehome is that they have so much balance, Rod, and they have great team chemistry. I read in the paper where someone said they didn't have any dominating player. Well, the reason why is not because they couldn't be dominating, that they just don't want to be. They want to share the ball, and they have just great balance. Makes them real tough to play against.
Okay, let's hear from Coach Fitterer himself as he talks about being ranked number 1, which they are, and having 1 week to prepare and playing Mount Vernon. Pat?
Right now, there's not any pressure because you just take it a game at a time. I think during the first part of the season, it was a lot of fun. Towards the end of the regular season, it got to be a little bit of a burden. But actually, Mount Vernon helped keep us on task because we knew we couldn't afford to lose one because they were only 1 game behind us. So that kept our focus right till the end of the season. And then once the playoff hits, that's all for naught. You just play 1 game at a time. You're just trying to get into the league tournament, trying to get in the district tournament, trying to get in the state tournament. Now that we're in, we're just trying to practice this week real hard to get ready for the state tournament. Actually, the practices get a little shorter, and we did, though, because we have played Mount Vernon 3 times. The 4th time we have put in a couple different wrinkles, a couple little different looks, because usually what happens in games like this, the games get kind of ugly because both teams know each other so well. So we're trying to do a couple things differently so everything's not doing things over and over. Keith Costco was out the last time we played him, which really threw us out of sync, and I felt some of our players just willed themselves to win that game because we were definitely out of sync. We've definitely got to control Leap. Leap is an excellent player, and we just want to play good, sound defense, and we want to shoot the ball real well. We haven't done that yet with Mount Vernon, so we want to shoot the ball well tonight.
Well, they're a really good shooting team because if you look at their statistics, Joe, they have some people who are shooting over 60%, including their outside man, their point guard, Jared Stevenson.
And I think from the field for the team, they're over 50%. They're around 57%. But he said that they're a little out of sync last time they played Mount Vernon. One sports writer said they're out of sync, but they weren't out of ammo. They had so many players that can put the ball in the hole that they just went to somebody else that normally hadn't scored. But
That's the way it's have been for Sehome. They found ways to win. As a matter of fact, their smallest margin of win over Mount Vernon has been 12 points. They've won by 12, 13, and 18 points. So that's something that probably would bug Mount Vernon a little bit going in. But we hope they're not too overpowered mentally, because this is a big game for them. Okay, we've kind of set the scene. Joe and I'll be back to call the action for you. We'll get into the starting lineups right after we take this break on Viacom's Game of the Week.
Hot. Sonics basketball at the top of their division, driving down the court on the road to the playoffs. Don't miss a thing. Catch all the action from the comfort of your home. The last 11 pay-per-view games of the season, only on cable TV for one great package price. Order the 11-game package now, and you'll be automatically entered to win a night in a Sonics luxury suite to celebrate the last game of the regular season in style. Call your cable company now.
Okay, the teams have been called off the court from their pregame warm-ups. We'll have the introduction of the players, and this is a championship game, of course. They're going to introduce the non-starters first and then the starters, and let's pick it up from Public Address System announcer Fred Bendix.
Number 20, Brady Gustafson. Number 22, Matt Stahl. Number 30, Kyle Felmley. Number 32, Corbin Stratton. Number 40, Justin Pendry. Number 42, Joey Anderson. And now for the Mount Vernon non-starters. Number 3, Todd Haberly. Number 4, Dane Jacobs. Number 10, Nick Lind. Number 20, Scott Collins. Number 23, Danny McManus. Number 24, Brian Whitehead. Number 25, Eric Kruger. And number 33, Matt McManus. And now for the starters. For the Mariners, number 14, Jared Stevenson. For the Bulldogs, number 21, Don Holloman. For Sehome, number 24, Jeff Chapman. For Mount Vernon, number 30, Grant Leap. For the Mariners, number 34, Ryan Kettman. For the Bulldogs, number 32, Eric Swanson. For Sehome, number 44, Keith Koskela. For Mount Vernon, number 34, Chris Kurtzberg. And for the Mariners, number 54, Mark Spink. And for the Bulldogs, number 42, Taylor Jones. The Sehome coaching staff, head coach Pat Fitterer, assisted by Monty Walton, Mike Curl, Skip St. Martin, Lloyd Aldrich, and Mark Wright. For Mount Vernon, the head coach, Mac Frazier, assisted by Scott Stromer, Robert Hancock, Jim Cucci, and Jeff Scott. Our officials this evening, Scott Federley and Dave Butler.
Okay, he's just announced the names of the officials, Dave Butler, Scott Federley. We're set to go. Mount Vernon will be the home team in the white uniforms. Both teams have a green color scheme. Sehome will be wearing the dark green uniforms with a gold trim, and Mount Vernon with the white uniforms and the green trim. They both have good height. They both have excellent scoring potential. And here we go in this championship game, the 4th meeting of the season between the teams, ranked right up there at the top of the state, best in the state. And it's into the hands of Sehome's Jared Stevenson, who is their point guard and prime mover when they set the offense. We'll take a look at the defense. Joe, what do you think?
Well, it's tough to figure because Mount Vernon plays a matchup zone, Rod, but they are in a zone. Right now it's a two-man front, but they go from 1-2-2 to 2-3.
And remember, there's no shooting clock in the boys' game. So, they tried to feed inside to Kettman. And it was a bad pass out of bounds.
Great first possession for Mount Vernon. Good defense there, forced turnover. This is one of the game keys Coach Frazier talked about, with Mount Vernon being able to handle Sehome pressure. They're having trouble right away.
Hertzberg, oh my, there's the drive. Stevenson missed a tough layup. Kettman intercepts after it was taken down. And then the pass goes into the hole to Koskela, and Koskela was fouled.
Sehome wasn't able to convert on either of those steals, but right away they've certainly made an impression here on Mount Vernon with their full court pressure. Mount Vernon's going to have to be able to handle that playing this game.
Stevenson looking for somebody. Tried to get it into Spink, and it's knocked away. Another turnover of the ball. This is Holloman with the ball.
See right away, Rod, you watch Sehome playing defense. They're not letting the ball go inside.
Spink with the rebound, and it's taken right away from him and put up and in by Hertzberg.
Hertzberg picking up where he left off against Redmond. You know, he hit that shot with 1 second to go in the game to win the game. Gets the first 2 points here against Sehome.
This is Koskela. He's a great baseball pitcher. Stevenson lays it off. Chapman is a great outside shooter and shoots most of their 3-point attempts.
Chapman had 5 against Sehome the last game up there in the league tournament at Stanwood.
And he fires away off the back rim. Nice rebound. Blocked by Grant Leap on Koskela's attempted putback. Here comes Swanson laying it off. Bad shot. Rebound Kettman. Here comes Sehome. Stevenson working against, now beautiful pass into Spink. Tries to shoot, partially blocked, taken out of there. Good defense by both these teams.
Outstanding. Grant Leap, leading block shotter in the Western Conference this year. He got one there, and I think Cato Jones got one as well.
That was, well, here's a 3-on-1. Stevenson missed it, rebound, but there's a foul call. Wow, a lot of action for a 2-0 game. They played a little more than 2 minutes in the first quarter.
You know, I wanted to say something like that myself, Rod. It just seems like there's been about 10 points scored by both teams here so far, and we only have 2 points up there total.
This is Jared Stevenson, an even 6-footer and a senior. That's the back rim.
Well, something like Jared, he's a 74% shooter from the foul line, and as we talked earlier about, he shoots 62% from the field, which is just unbelievable.
2-1 the score. Team with the ball, Mount Vernon has the lead, and of course it's hardly established anything yet at a 2-1 game. That's Hertzberg getting in trouble, but gets rid of it to Holloman. Swanson had it. Whoops, there's a collision and a foul. Probably on Koskela, I believe. Yep.
Keith went out there aggressive, but he's got to take care of those head fakes because Hertzberg gave him a little head fake and got him off the ground and drew the foul.
Non-shooting, of course. This is Grant Leap. Now he'll move to play inside where he sets up low post most of the time. This is Swanson. Passes beautifully underneath, and the shot went in, and there were so many players I couldn't tell who hit it.
I think that was Taylor Jones that got the basket, I think.
Taylor
great
Jones,
plays by
number 42.
Yeah, great play by Eric Swanson, though. He's really come on at the end of the year. We've seen him play some good basketball here.
That's Chapman, and he doesn't get the roll. Rebound Jones. Here comes Mount Vernon. Hertzberg slows it up. They go into their set offense. Sehome will defend all over the court and really hawk the ball, and there's a hawking of the arm. And this is on Stevenson. And here comes Mount Vernon's designated way outside shooter, number 10, Nick Lind, into the game. You know, you see him come into the picture.
When you say that, we look at the stat sheet here. He's attempted 101 three-point shots, and the next closest, well, I guess Chris Herbert's taken 92, but nobody else has had over 20. But he is designated,
Leap,
no doubt.
Leap's pass was knocked against the basket supports by Ketman.
Sehome players have such great vision, such great hands on there, make it real tough.
There's a lob into Taylor Jones. Back outside they come. Three-point attempt. No, by Hertzberg, and rebound Leap. Leap's a sophomore, remember. And there's a foul. And overplay by the very slender Mark Spink.
One thing I notice here, Rod, is that Grant Leap is having to go outside to get the ball. He had to go out about 15, 17 feet to get the ball. And one reason is because the Sehome defense is really taking away that inside pass.
That's a third-team foul against the Mariners. There's another three-point attempt. No, off the back rim. And there's a man for a breakaway. It's Stevenson, who is a left-hander. And he puts it in for the first field goal for Sehome. 4-3. Favor of the green-clad Mount Vernon Bulldogs. There's that pressure defense. Held ball. Possession stays with Mount Vernon, however, but the next time that happens, it'll go over to the Mariners.
Well, Nick Lynn dribbled the ball up court, which you have to do, but you got to be careful. You get across that 10-second line, you got to know where to go with the balls. Don't go across. And that time he went across, and two Sehome players pounced on him and got the jump ball.
Coming down to the 4-minute mark. Low scoring for these two teams. 4 minutes of the first quarter, of course.
You watch Sehome now putting a lot of pressure on Grant Leap, make it very difficult for him to get the ball.
Lind missed it. Finally, Ketman, with a good timing, went up for the rebound. Or Chapman, I beg your pardon. This is Stevenson. He'll fire from way out. It's off to the side. Oh, a great tip by Koskela. And then on the second rebound attempt, he was fouled.
Well, you know, Rod, they always talk about the three outside players for Sehome, but Keith Koskela and Mark Spinks, you know, these are two kids that have contributed all year, but they've really come on. You see Coach Fitter there on the bench, but these are two kids that have really come on this year, and that's why they're so tough, because they do have a good inside strength as well.
Koskela ties it at 4, as coming into the game for Mount Vernon is Holloman again. He replaces Hertzberg.
You know, Keith Koskela is a great pitcher as well. He had about he gave up one earned run last year, and he's looking at a full ride in baseball to some Division I school here next year.
There was another rebound by Leap. It's 2-on-1 for the moment, but Lind gets... Lind puts one high off the glass again.
The one thing you have to do against Sehome, you just can't lay back. You have to attack when they hit with that press, and you can beat it. You got to attack the basket, and so far Mount Vernon's been doing that.
6-4, the Bulldogs lead. Koskela into the low post. Beautiful move by Spink. That's what he's been doing late in the season.
Great quickness for a kid his size. Great mobility, great quickness.
6-all. And almost a steal by Ketman.
Had his hand on the ball.
Underneath to Lind, who couldn't quite handle it, out of bounds.
Well, Sehome may not have been in sync in the last time they played Mount Vernon, but they certainly are here tonight. But Mount Vernon as well is up to the task.
Change. Hertzberg came back in. Kruger went out. No. Swanson went out. Spink outside for the moment. It makes a bad pass. That was just ill-advised. Goes right into the hands of Mount Vernon, and a check away from the rear. And Lind complains a little bit that they got him on the arm, which I think they might have.
Yeah, Mount Vernon coaches all come up off the bench too. They wanted a little contact foul there, but referees let them play. And I think if they do that, that'd be to certainly be Sehome's advantage.
Hertzberg. Good job. Shot. Koskela called for the foul. He got ball, but he must have got some flesh along the way as Hertzberg goes to the line.
Well, that always has got to be a key in a game like this. Is certainly who's in foul trouble, who's not. But that's Keith Koskela's second foul. We're only 4 minutes or 6 minutes into this first quarter.
Fourth team foul, by the way. Hertzberg misses. He's a 65% free throw shooter for the season. Got that one. That breaks the tie, 7-6. And these teams still really are kind of feeling each other out, and there's a lot of defensive play going on, I'll tell you that. This is Kettman. Three-pointer.
Just great penetration by Jared Stevenson that time to get the open Kettman, who's a prolific scorer out there at the three-point line.
Boy, they really double-team that ball. Beautiful. A block. Almost a goaltend by Spink, but it was not called that way. There's Kettman again. Right in the basket, but not there. And Spink gets the shot away. I don't think it'll count. I think he was fouled before the shot, Joe. Is that?
I think it was too, but it's a great play by Keith Koskela. They're getting that rebound and looking for the open man again. And I guess we can't talk about that much because we don't often see it that much of teams, but just the chemistry of this Sehome team and the willingness to give the ball up and gave it up to his partner Spink there is something that just you don't see often and makes them so tough to play against.
9-7. Sehome leads. Stevenson checked by Lind at the moment, although I think it's a zone still. Three back inside zone. Stevenson with the penetration, lays it off. Kettman's shot wouldn't go, but he drew the foul by Swanson.
Eric Swanson's kind of shaking his head there because he thought he had pretty good position, but Kettman that time just kind of took the ball to him, took his body to him, and forced the contact and got the call.
Kettman is a 6'3" senior.
Prolific scorer. I think they said in one game this year, and I forget who it was against, but he had 20 points in the first quarter alone.
Got them both. His team now leads by 4, 11-7. Look at them checking backcourt, and they're jumping at that ball and diving and everything else. Nice work to get it across to Leap, who takes it to the hole and scores. He is a left-hander, too, by the way.
Took it real big and strong, the hoop that time. That's one of the first looks that Grant's had in this quarter. So you'd have to say that Sehome's strategy defensively has been paid off so far.
There's Kettman, that's off to the side. You could tell, knocked out of bounds by Koskela trying to rebound. Here's the change. 25 Kruger comes in. Eric Kruger, a 6'3" player for Mount Vernon. And also we have a change. Sean Ryan, their football quarterback, comes in. He's number 12 for Sehome. This is Lind. Boy, look at him dive on the floor. These are tough teams. Leap, the sophomore, gives to Lind. Lind hits his specialty, the three-pointer.
Nick Lind undoubtedly has a green light because he's looking to score out there. He's looking to shoot the ball, and you got to be aggressive against the Sehome defense. We've talked about it before, and Mount Vernon's hanging tough in there.
And they lead by 1 point.
We got about 18 seconds to go in the quarter here, Rod. Looks like they're going for the last shot.
No, Stevenson shoots off the back rim. Rebound, Sean Ryan.
That's what I
9
said.
seconds, 8 seconds.
Gonna shoot early.
Yeah. Now they got to shoot. Stevenson. No, off the back rim. And before anybody can solidify the rebound, why, it's the end of the quarter. Well, it's a tight ball game as these teams mostly have played all year. And now Mount Vernon leads by 1 point on Viacom's Game of the Week. Back in just a moment.
Wow, what a fight!
Is this cable? Yeah, it's pay-per-view. Man, it's just like being there.
Better. Remember those lousy seats that Scalper sold us?
So pay-per-view's boxing? It's more.
Wrestling!
Yeah, concerts and movies too. And it's really easy to order. Expensive? No, Joe, not even for you. I can't believe I never tried this.
So, next time it's at your place.
Sure, but what's wrong with coming here? Hey, who ordered a pizza with pepperoni, mushrooms, and extra mice?
Pay-per-view it. The best way to do it.
Well, there you see some of the crowd, and there's a good crowd here at Edmondson's Pavilion. Of course, this is the 7th of 8 games being played on this Saturday, March the 2nd. We just watched quite a performance in a girls' game before this one. Sheila Lambert, a little sophomore for Chief South. I don't know how many points she got, but she was a sensational player.
We got to see a great game between with a double-A championship or game with O'Day and Blanchette as well, right?
Right, and O'Day wound up winning that ball game. Both teams go to state. Both these teams go to state. Well, that was a shot by Ryan, no good. They're all after the rebound, and there's another foul called. I wonder if it's on Koskela. Yeah, it's on Koskela, and he's in foul trouble early. We're only 15 seconds into the second quarter. That's his 3rd foul, the 5th on the team. Both teams have 5 fouls.
Seahome's back their pressure up here to half court, but probably same stuff, double the ball. It's tough to figure them out. You don't know when they're going to double it. There's no real keys. They just do it. They played so much together so long.
Swanson hits a 3-pointer.
That's how you beat it, though. You pull up and take that open shot aggressively and knock it down.
4-point lead. Mount Vernon in the lead. Chapman has been held down so far. Now Kettman around to the right side as they work against that zone, swinging it from side to side. And another Sehome foul, evidently for setting a moving screen.
They called it on Jared Stevens down there, who was making a pick.
And here's a timeout taken by Sehome, which finds itself in an unfamiliar position of trailing its opponent by 4 points. But the game is young. 7:16 to go in the second quarter.
It's young, but it's just how Sehome's awful good. We know Mount Vernon's good. They're ranked 2 in the state. Sehome's ranked 1, but having to play a team 4 times, and try to maintain that intensity for all 4 games, it's extremely difficult. And certainly Mount Vernon has shown tonight that they think they can win this game.
And they have one key player, Keith Koskela, in foul trouble with 3 and on the bench. And he's been quite a rebounder in there so far, very active around the board. So their lineup includes still Stevenson, Spink, Kettman, number 20 for Sehome's in the game, Brady Gustafson. He came in to replace Koskela. And also Jeff Chapman is in, number 24. I don't see anything very different for Mount Vernon here. This is Hoskins to Taylor Jones, and he scores on a nice reverse layup.
Well, Mount Vernon, again, is just being very aggressive. Once they get up and get past that pressure, they're taking the ball right to the basket and scoring at will right now.
They lead by 6.
This is certainly a situation that Sehome has not been in this year.
That's Jared Stevenson, no, but put back on the rebound by Brady Gustafson. 17-13 the score. I'm not sure what the official was talking to Coach Frazier about, but at any rate, it's Mount Vernon's ball in backcourt, and they're having a little trouble, but now Holloman beats it with the pass to Leap, and they go into their set offense. And Sehome is using a man-to-man right now. They're following the cutters. There goes to Leap. Leap decides to shoot. A little short. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Swanson. Holloman moves to meet Stevenson as the point man in that zone.
Well, it's a zone, but if you look at it, it looks man-to-man, but they're just matching up with players in the area, and then when a cutter goes through, they just pass them off to somebody else.
Yeah. That's Gustafson. And here's Spink inside. Oh, boy, they're having a little tough time making those close-in shots.
Well, there's a difference when you're playing ahead all the time and when you have to play from behind. There's a little more on the line when you're shooting a shot when you're behind.
Holloman misses. Way up for the rebound is Kettman. Ahead to Stevenson. A one-handed grab by Gustafson on the alley-oop pass, and he just eased it into the basket.
Just great athletic ability. You know, it doesn't seem like it doesn't matter who Sehome puts in there. They got somebody doing it.
And there's a breakaway. They've got 3 on 2. Gustafson again. Boy, he's giving him a lift off the bench. Coming in for the foul-troubled Koskela. And now we have a 17-all ball game with 5:09 to go, and Mount Vernon takes a timeout.
Well, you know, both teams are very explosive. We've seen Mount Vernon this year, Rod, have great runs against Cascade, 19-0, 28-0, and of course, I think Sehome is a classic explosive team. You just cannot let them get going on a string of points, and I think Coach Frazier did a good job of getting the timeout there when he could, because they've ripped off 6 points here in just a matter of seconds.
Well, I can remember the Everett Sehome game that we did, Joe. It was a nip and tuck for a long time, and you look at the end of the ball game, and suddenly Sehome won by 20 points.
Now they're very capable of because of the way they play that tenacious defense, and they're always poking at the ball and releasing people. They get on a run on you, and they can bury it before you even open your eyes. So Mount Vernon's still in the game, obviously. It's a tied score. They just got to regroup a little bit here and attack them again.
Okay, here we go. Coming up court is Swanson to Lynn. Oops. Going to be a held ball, and this possession will go to Sehome. No, I beg your pardon, Mount Vernon. I thought it was the other way around.
Some people behind you up there are saying the same thing. Yeah, it should be going the other way. For some reason, those officials always win out.
Spink checked by Kettman at the moment. This is Lynn. And Swanson gets in close. Interception in there by Kettman finally.
Just great hands. Brought the ball down, and that was the end of it.
Gustafson back to Stevenson, who shoots and hits. Well, he'd been coming close with his outside shots, and he finally nailed one there.
A heads-up play by Brady Gustafson. They get to kick the ball back out again, and Jarrett was squared up the basket and drained it.
20 to 17 now. They've come from 4 down to ahead by 3. Hertzberg working against Chapman, goes inside to Taylor Jones, who always likes to drive for that hoop. He did there and forced a foul to be called. And there's going to be 7 fouls, so it's 1-1 from here on out for Mount Vernon when Sehome commits a common foul. Gustafson commits it, and the shooter will be Taylor Jones. Jones is a 6'4" senior. He's kind of the counterpart of Koskela for the opposing team, the way his physical stature and the way he moves around the basket.
You know, here it's kind of an interesting statistic here. Grant Leap's only shot the ball twice so far, according to Mark Vernon's stats, and made one. He's got 2 points, but yet Mount Vernon's only 1 point down. Shows that the rest of the team is picking up. It shows a lot of maturity in Mount Vernon at this point, because early in the year they're kind of dependent on those 2 kids, Jones and Leap.
Look at Spink. Oh boy, what a great knifing move down the lane.
I like your word knifing, because that way he just kind of found a little slip there in the action and got slithered through it.
And his body isn't very wide. He can do that.
I guess that's the advantage for not bulking up, huh? Yeah. I would have been good at that.
Oh, in close to Jones. Has his shot rejected by Spink. Loose ball picked up by Chapman. That's Kettman shooting and missing. The rebound taken away from Gustafson, but only knocked out of bounds by Swanson. 3:17 to go in the half. It's 22-19. Sehome leads. Into Spink. Tries to shoot, but he walks. He kind of teetered on one foot, danced around, and did not anchor it.
He made the catch real well, but just didn't get his balance when he came down, and the official made a good call.
And the official warned Spink to not withhold the ball from play so much. He kind of dinked around with it for a while. Okay, here comes Swanson on the move. Going all the way, passes off to Jones. Nice play. It counts. It would have counted even if it hadn't gone in because somebody pulled the rim down.
Yeah, Mark Spink caught his hand. I saw there in the net at the time.
It pulled the rim down. You don't have those springs on it, so it's not completely rigid.
But, you know, Eric Swanson's really picked his game up here near the end of the year as a great penetrator in there and created a basket that time. Ooh. Great cutout by Grant Leap that time on Spink. Got his good defensive position there and got the rebound.
There's Hertzberg. Nope. Stevenson finally comes away with it. Oh, Spink has really got nice touch around the
He does, but a great vision by Jared Stevenson to get the ball to him that time. Perfect pass.
24-21 with 2.5 minutes to play in the half.
Again, now look at this Sehome defense. They just got right back in the key there. Jones will be able to get the ball.
Yeah, he can maneuver in there. He's good.
Well, Sehome's denying Leap, doing a good job, but Taylor Jones is kind of picking up the slack in there.
Maybe that's one of the reasons that Sehome may miss Koskela for his defense on a player like that.
Get out, get out!
There's the ball into Kettman. It counts. A sensational off-balance, leaning almost out-of-bounds shot that must have missed the edge of the backboard by 1/8 of an inch.
Well, what we're just seeing great play from both teams, and we're seeing kids that are real skilled around the basket route. I mean, that's just not luck. That takes a lot of practice, and young kids watching this telecast on Monday, you know, this is something that you can do on your own and just practice. You know, you got to keep that pivot foot down, but Taylor Jones at one end, and then we just saw Kettman here just making a great move, keeping their body under control, keeping the feet down, and using good ball fakes, getting good shots.
The Mariners ahead by 4 points now with less than 2 minutes to play in the half. Still going with their man-to-man, and perfect shot by Hertzberg from right at the foul line.
The Sehome defense is, I think Chris Hertzberg is going to have to start shooting those shots because they're giving him a lot of space.
There's Spink. He got in trouble, batted it out. There's Stevenson, set shot for three. He hardly jumped. There's a long down court pass, and there's, Stevenson almost took a tumble into the press bench right in front of the Mount Vernon Anacortes area broadcaster. Big Dan down there. Well, of course, it's still Mount Vernon ball, and they trail by 5 points. Into Jones. Sean Ryan, number 12, is now in trying to check Taylor Jones. Jones has about an inch on him in height. And there's Lind coming down to the 1 minute mark.
You see the room that Jared Stevenson now is giving Eric Swanson. He just doesn't want him to penetrate.
Right.
And he's taking away the inside pass as best as he can.
Kettman is on Leap. Leap has the ball, but way out in the corner.
That's the only place he's been able to get the ball here so far.
And the ball's checked away from behind, but here's an on-the-arm reach foul by a Sehome player on Brady Gustafson. His second. Of course, they're over the limit, so it's a 1-and-1, but they haven't got to the 10 foul mark yet. Get to the 10 foul mark, everything's 2 shots. Well, what do you know? We saw him make what, 12 out of 13 game we did?
I think it was 100%. I think it was 12 for 12 against Cascade.
May have been 12 for 12. Anyway, missed that one. I don't know if Sehome wants to keep the ball for the last shot or not. It's less than 30 seconds in the half.
Well, don't say that, because I said it the first quarter. You know what happened.
That Sean Ryan has his shot partially blocked. Gets it back. Looks at the hoop, decides he better leave it outside. 15 seconds to play. Chapman. Around to the side to Kettman, who fakes by his man, lost the ball, but it was tipped, apparently touched last by Mount Vernon. 3 players come in for Mount Vernon, probably to keep them out of foul trouble.
I saw Coach Frazier and the monitor there. That whole bench erupted there. They wanted that ball, Mount Vernon's ball, but now they're laughing about it a little bit. But the officials are pretty firm in the call, and it looks like it was the right call.
And Spink comes in to replace Sean Ryan for Sehome. Okay, they have 5 seconds to get a shot away, and Kettman will fire from way out. He missed everything, and everybody will holler, air ball, air ball. And that one missed badly. So we had no further scoring. It's still very much of a ball game. As you can see on our screen, that's the score. The unbeaten and first-ranked Sehome Mariners lead the team that's right behind them in all the polls and in the league 30-25. We'll take a break here and be back with stats as kept by Mark Richer. Some more comments from Joe Richer in a moment. This is Viacom Game of the Week. A couple of very talented high school basketball teams are playing here for the championship of the West Sea King Combined League playoffs. And here's Joe Richer with some of the stats story on the first half.
Well, we saw an exciting first half, Rod. A lot of action. I think you hit it right on the head. Hit the nail on the head there in the first quarter when you said with all the activity out there, there should be more points on the board. And the teams is 30-25. I guess that's probably average for these teams, but it seems like with all the people on the floor and diving for balls and all this, that there should be more up there. But looking at scoring for Mount Vernon, Grant Leap, the leading scorer in the Western Conference this past season, only had 2 points. That was one of the keys that Sehome coach Fitterer wanted to emphasize, to keeping the ball away from him. They've done a good job, but Grant's partner, Taylor Jones, really picked it up there in the second quarter, getting 8 points. He had 2 in the first quarter to lead Mount Vernon at the half with 10 points. Chris Herzberg, 5. Eric Swanson, 3. And Nick Lynn came off the bench there and put in 5 points for them. For the half from the field, Mount Vernon was 9 for 21, which is 42%. They were 3 for 5 from the foul line, 60%. They only had 5 turnovers. I thought they had more than that, but I know Sehome had the hands on the ball a lot more than that, but only had 5, and that's very good for the first half against a tenacious defense like Sehome. And one interesting stat that you pointed out, Rod, they only had 2 fouls, and that could be a big factor here come game time, come the end of the game. Looking at Sehome, again, they had fairly balanced scoring. Jared Stevenson had 9. Brady Gustafson came off the bench, gave him a little spark there in that second quarter. He got all of his 6 points there. Jeff Chapman only had 2 shots, did not score. I mention his name because, the last time they played, he had hit 5 or 6 threes against Mount Vernon. Again, showing the versatility of this Sehome basketball team. Ryan Kettman, their leading scorer, averages around 17 a game, had 8 points. Keith Koskela, unfortunately for Sehome, left the game there in the second quarter with 3 fouls and had to sit out the rest of the second quarter. He only had 1 point. And Mark Spink, their versatile inside player, had 6. Sehome was 12 for 29 from the field, 41%, which is far below their 57% that they showed for the year. They were 5 for 7 from the foul line, 71%. And like Mount Vernon, they only committed 5 fouls. The real difference, though, I guess,
5 turnovers.
5 turnovers, excuse me. Real difference there is, though, Sehome had 8 fouls to the 2 for Mount Vernon, and as we said, Keith Koskela had 3 of those.
And 2 each called against Stevenson and Gustafson. Well, I don't know. The fouls may not be that much of a factor, depending on how the second half goes. But boy, we're used to both these teams kind of cranking it up in the second half, from what we've seen.
Well, I'm sure we'll see that happen here for sure. Mount Vernon has proven to us over this year that they can really make it big things happen in that third quarter. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this game.
We'll take another quick break here and come back with that third quarter of action in just a moment on our Viacom Championship Game of the Week.
This March, pay-per-view it for only $3.95. Big stars, big hits, one small price. Pay-per-view is affordable entertainment the easy way. Just pick the showing you want to see and follow the simple pay-per-view ordering instructions. Before you know it, you'll be enjoying the movie of your choice in the comfort of your home. No tapes to return, no late fees to pay, and everyone can watch for just one low price. Value, convenience, plus great entertainment. What more could you want? Big hits, small price, pay-per-view it in March.
The teams are back on the court. Now they leave to go check with their coaches before the start of the third period. Joe, contrast the defenses you've seen a little bit.
Well, you know, in this game, Sehome basically likes to press a lot. And certainly we've seen a lot of that, and they vary it from three-quarter to full court to half. But when they come back, they play basically just a standard man-to-man, as opposed to Mount Vernon that basically just stays in the half court, but they play that matchup zone. It's difficult to pick up who's checking who, but they just stay with the player in their zone, and then he cuts through, he passes them on to somebody else. But I thought the first half, both teams played extremely well.
Here's Sehome with the ball, and they have Brady Gustafson in there instead of Koskela. This is into Spink, and Spink scores. A nice 8-footer along the end line.
Well, that's something I'm sure they drew up in the dressing room at halftime, Rod, and it paid off. They got the scoring.
This is Leap, and Leap is called for a walk.
Well, again, Grant Leap's trying to get into the game. You know, he just hasn't had the shots. He's only had 2 shots that first half, and he probably try to do something there that he normally doesn't do, which is penetrate the ball in the dribble from outside.
Stevenson, Kettman, Spink whistles a pass out to Gustafson. Now here's Kettman from three-point range off the front rim. Rebound knocked into the hands of Swanson. Here comes Mount Vernon. This is Chris Hertzberg. Leap, hands off, nice one. And then to Taylor Jones, tough one to lose.
This is the presence of Mark Spink in there, and then in there that time forced to kick off the pass, and then didn't get the 2 points.
7-point lead at the moment for the team with the ball. Chapman gets it into Spink. Spink double team, gets it to Gustafson, who tried to go all the way. Spink does. Spink's shot is blocked, but a foul is called in there somewhere. Yeah, it was on Spink's putback shot, so he'll go to the line for 2.
Called a foul on Grant Leap that time. Grant made the first block, I thought, on Brady Gustafson's layup, and then Spink made a great hustle for the ball, and it looked like he got a lot of ball in that last one as well, but they called a foul on him.
First foul called against Leap. Spink makes it the longest lead of the game at 8 points.
You know, he's just a real hard person to keep off the boards. You can try blocking him off, but he's so quick for his size. It's real difficult. And there's Brady Gustafson again.
Chapman, who's off on his shooting, but hasn't had many shots. Now we get a foul against Sehome after the hustle for the rebound. It's Kettman who gets the foul call, and that's his first. That's Holloman, that's a kick ball. Doesn't make much difference in the boys' game because there's no shot clock.
Well, Sehome did such a great job of just communicating out there. You know, that time Gustafson went for the ball and missed, and his partner comes over and picks up his man, and just great communication out there, and just a real good, solid defensive team in this Sehome club.
Number 10, Nick Lind, comes in to replace Holloman. This is Swanson. And Taylor Jones, who loves to go for the hoop. And no basket. I wonder, I missed the call. Somebody blocked me out on that.
Well, they called traveling on
okay.
Taylor Jones. I didn't see it, but
somebody did.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Well, there's Chapman. Is he going to find the range? He finally does. His first points of the night. And suddenly it's a 9-point lead for Sehome. Swanson, who's a tall kid at 6'4", good penetrator for his size. That's Hertzberg. No, off to the side. Spink lost the rebound, but it's into the... Oh, now here's Kettman's pass intercepted by Hertzberg. Taylor Jones mishandles. The moment Gustafson was open, but Kettman didn't see him. Here's Gustafson faking himself into a travel. He shuffled his feet with the head fake. 36-25, 11-point lead for Sehome's Mariners. Now Holloman is back in. Holloman and Lind, both the outside players, are in.
Then Grant Lee came up for the ball that time, and Kettman just wouldn't let him have the ball.
Gustafson rebounds. Oh, there's another steal by Mount Vernon, stealing the act of Sehome.
Chris Hertzberg doing it again.
And he's going to shoot from the corner. Missed it. Gets his own rebound. Tries to shoot. Gets fouled. 5 minutes to play, third quarter.
Chris Hertzberg did a good job. That's the second possession in a row where Sehome has rebounded the ball, but Chris just kind of hangs around there, and both times he's managed to intercept the pass. This time they got the shot, and he goes to the foul line. Chance to make 2 foul shots.
Now the 6'5" Koskela comes back into the game for Sehome, and Taylor Jones returns for Mount Vernon. Chances are those two will be going head-to-head. Hertzberg shooting 2. Off the side, no good. And he missed them both.
He shoots the ball so well, too. I'm surprised he misses them.
Garrett Stevenson setting up the attack. Oh, I think that was meant to be some kind of an alley-oop, but it never got anywhere near Koskela. Nice pass to Leap, and Leap scores with an underhand scoop shot.
Can't keep good players down. Grant Leap's fighting all the way there. Nice move to the basket.
Kettman. Well, that's a pushing foul as Spink tried to go for the hoop and took a rather awkward shot, but he forced the foul by so doing.
And he showed his versatility there. He took 3 or 4 dribbles with his left hand, and being a right-handed player, you know, for a 6'7" player, got good control of the basketball. Talk about how important foul shots are. Mount Vernon just missed on 2 foul shots at the other end here, and see if Marcus' last shot here. He hits them both. That's a big turnabout. That's 4-point difference right there.
And the lead is back to 11. Now they're doing something different on defense. They've got Leap out. Well, just don't know. That's Leap shooting. And here comes...
Good hustle by Mark Spink there that time.
Yeah, Spink getting the rebound. Chapman to Kettman finally. Nope. Rebound, Hertzberg. Here come the Bulldogs, but the defense is pretty well back. Shot from the corner. No. Who's going to get the long rebound? Hertzberg.
What do you think?
Nice pass into Leap. He's a left-hander, remember. A wild shot, which was possibly not blocked, but at least it was parried. Jared Stevenson scores on about an 18-footer. 13-point lead.
Nice pull-up jump shot. Mount Vernon desperately needs somebody here to step it up here a little bit and start putting the ball in the basket for him.
There's a reach foul committed by Jeff Chapman.
Foul served to Jeff Chapman.
Now it's 3 team fouls against Sehome, 2 against Mount Vernon.
You see Mark Spink now checking
the outside man. Holloman.
Yeah, he's checking Holloman there, and what Sehome is doing, you can tell here that they've. Oh, too bad, good move.
And then Jones on the rebound had his shot blocked, but there's Leap trying to shoot. There was a foul called before that last check by Spink.
Taylor Jones has been on his boards a lot this game. That's one thing Coach Fitter want to do is try to keep Taylor off the boards. But Sehome's strategy, talking about their defense, they're putting a smaller man on Leap and just trying to deny him the ball, and that's Kettman. He's done a real good job.
Well, there must have been an overrule on the out of bounds or whatever it was down there, Joe. I guess I missed it, but Sehome is going to get the ball. Yeah, they're... Well, whatever it was, the decision stays. Stevenson. Yep. That was a three-pointer.
Jared's on the roll right now. He's stroking the ball real well there, and Mount Vernon's paying for it.
Hertzberg hits for 3. Nice feed from Swanson after he penetrated and dished it off.
Mount Vernon going into their own little trap here out of their 1-2-2 matchup zone. Extend the defense.
Chapman. He's warming up.
Just great penetration again by the Sehome guards, getting the ball to the open player.
And Swanson missed. Loose ball finally corralled by Stevenson, and a blocking foul called against Kruger of Mount Vernon, who indicates to the official that he was elbowed with the dribbler's off arm. And that's possibly true.
Well, dribblers have a tendency to do that. In fact, we teach kids to keep that opposite arm up, keep the defensive player off them.
Lead is 16, 46-30. Spink scores. He's looking better every time we see him.
Sehome just did a good job that time too of spreading the court and got the ball up to Koskela here way in the corner there and drew the Mount Vernon defensive player out. They dumped the ball in the Spink. He's got a smaller man on him and just lays it in.
Makes this. His team has a 19-point lead, which is pretty amazing. It was 5 at halftime, and now with just under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, it could be 19.
Well, Coach Frazier tried to stop it there. We saw him call that timeout in the third quarter, but it didn't do any good.
Nope, it's only 18. Finally proved himself human, missed a free throw. Chapman defending against Hertzberg. This is Spink against Swanson. He missed it. Out of bounds to Sehome. There's Coach Pat Fitterer as Spink leaves the game. Gustafson went in to replace him. Well, I've got a minute and a half to go in this third quarter. Oh, clean steal by Hertzberg, and he's going to the ball and score.
He has an uncanny ability to be in the right places at the right time. I know he's a great soccer player as well, but he's got great vision on the court and great anticipation. I've seen that time and time again. I'm speaking of Chris Hertzberg of Mount Vernon.
Right. Gustafson takes it to the hole, missed it badly. Chapman got the rebound off his fingertips, out of bounds to Mount Vernon. The team in white, Mount Vernon Bulldogs, trailed by 16 points with 55 seconds to play. Now we have into the game Scott Collins, number 20, 5'11 junior. There's a shot that's no good, tipped back out and all the way out of bounds by Mount Vernon.
You see that Mount Vernon pulled back out of that press they were doing. Didn't have any success with it. Sehome handled it very well.
That's Chapman on the run and scores.
That's a little running shot that we used to see a lot.
Yeah.
Not much more, but Chapman showing his versatility there.
Bang! There's a collision. And I believe a charge called against the offensive player.
Well, Ryan Kettman's just done a phenomenal job here tonight checking Grant Leap, and he had great position there that time. You see Ryan there on the monitor, and got his body set, feet on the floor, and took the charge.
20 seconds to play, so they'll almost certainly try for the last shot here. They lead by 18.
Why is it when you say it, they go for one shot? I said it in the first quarter. They didn't do it.
Well, the ball to Koskela. Gustafson feeds underneath. They're taking too long to do this. 1 second to play as it goes out of bounds to the Bulldogs. They kind of overpassed in there, I think, that time, Joe.
Yeah, Brady should have made good penetration. Should have tried to shoot it up there. Maybe even draw a foul.
Well, they're trying their darndest. Intercepted by Kettman. So nothing more happens at the end of the third quarter. A great quarter for the first-ranked Sehome Mariners. They lead by 18 points. We'll take a pause here. Back with the fourth period in a moment on Viacom's Game of the Week.
This March, pay-per-view delivers heroes, legends, and laughs for the whole family. The Middle Ages rock when a teenager drops in. He's a kid in King Arthur's court. What's Big Green in a field of screams? Disney's The Big Green.
Wow!
Plus, teens will love the wacky adventures of Daniel Stern. Hang on for Bushwhacked. And blast off with Tom Hanks in an amazing story for all ages, Apollo 13. Be a hero with your family. Pay-per-view it in March.
Well, Jeff Chapman, who had been held scoreless in the first half, erupted for 8 points in that quarter. So he was a big factor, Joe, including hitting a three-pointer. So
I'll tell you, the thing I like about Mr. Chapman as well is that, he only got 2 shots in the first half, but you didn't see him out there trying to force anything or trying to get shots just because he wasn't getting the ball. He showed great patience out there as good basketball players do on good teams, and finally the ball came his way and he capitalized on it. But that's a real tribute to the Sehome team.
Bang! First shot he's taken. Scott Collins hit a three-pointer.
Mount Vernon needed that. It's down to 15 here, so anything can happen.
Whoops, there's an unintentional trip, but a trip nonetheless. And it's called against Collins.
Kind of one of those fouls where the official waits to see what happens to the guy being tripped. If he maintains the ball, doesn't fall down, he probably wouldn't call it. 1-1 though.
Oh, it is a 1-1. Yeah, that was the 7th team foul. Okay, Chapman to the line. Sehome has only committed 3 fouls. Chapman missed it. Rebound nicely by Swanson. There's Lind, who has it partially deflected, taken out of the air by Leap, who has his shot checked. And out of bounds into possession of Sehome.
And Mark Spink this whole game has really clogged the middle up there against Mount Vernon, and anybody coming near the basket hasn't had to mess with him, and so far they haven't had a lot of success.
Stevenson, 8-footer, no. Oh, great tip by Koskela.
We haven't seen too much of him so far this game, but he just showed his leaping ability there and versatility as an athlete.
Collins tries another 3, missed this time. Nice rebound, Hurstberg. Back to Lind, and then deflected out of bounds by Chapman. came of that. There's Collins trying to get off the shot. Gets in heavy traffic, loses the ball. Chapman comes out of there. He lost control and was pushed, and that's why. And again, he'll be up there at the line shooting 1-and-1. Well, Joe, what do you think of these two teams when it comes down to the big state tournament, huh?
Well, that's something we don't know about. You know, obviously we haven't seen the teams on the east side of the mountains, nor have we seen the teams southwest or down in the Tacoma area there. But certainly Sehome is an outstanding team, and it's going to take a great team to beat them. And Mount Vernon thus far is, again, you know, they could play Sehome again in that state tournament, depending on that draw. But up to the Redmond game, the fewest points they'd beaten a team by was 8. So they have to be pretty strong, and they're getting better every game. I wouldn't use this game as a yardstick to measure them, though, because they're just playing against a super team here in Sehome.
Beautiful pass. Woo! And the left-hander goes in and makes an easy layup. That pass had hardly any arch on it, Joe.
This just shows good strength there by Kettman, too. That's a tough pass.
Well, there's a push against a Sehome player as Swanson tried to go toward the hoop.
I just heard one of the Sehome fans sitting behind us yell across the floor, "I'm sorry we're so good." And you know, tonight they are. They just have been, I don't know who would have beat them tonight. They've been hitting on all 8 cylinders, and unfortunately Mount Vernon's taking the brunt of it. But seeing how Mount Vernon's responded to these games against Sehome, they just seem to get better. They certainly don't die out there, and this probably just makes them a better squad, that much more tougher when they play that state tournament next week.
The foul was on Koskela, his 4th. He leaves, and Joey Anderson comes in. Kruger hits the free throw.
If you think about it, having to play against the #1 team in the state 4 times, you know, and beating everybody else, they know when they go out there next year in that next week in that state tournament, there's nobody out there any better. So they have to feel pretty good about their chances.
And I got to correct myself. I said the name Kruger. That was Swanson making those 2 free throws. Stevenson. And Chapman decides to fire. Off to the side, rebound Kettman. He shoots short. Taken out of the air by Spink. Tries to shoot, foul. .550 to play in the game. Mark Spink is very slender, but he seems to be very strong. Wiry kid. Nice shooting action.
Yeah, he really has a total package, Rod, and I'm sure there's going to be colleges out there very interested in him. Someone's going to be very lucky to get him because, as you were saying earlier, you know, he put some meat on that frame of his. He could even be tougher.
He's got 15 points. There's Collins trying another one. Well, he hit his first one, but he's moving way off on subsequent shots.
I like the way Jared Stevenson rebounded that ball and spaced himself between the defensive players.
Oops. Swanson's pass was a little behind. Taylor Jones went out of bounds.
It's just real fun to watch this Sehome team when they're in sync like they are now defensively. You know, everybody seems to have it going for the ball, going for steals, but they're always covering up the backside. They don't give many cheap baskets.
Chapman. Did I say something about him warming up in the second half after going 0 in the first? Wow. It's a 24-point lead. And there's a foul on a close-in shot attempt. Swanson will go to the line. That's 5 team fouls, 2 personally on Spink.
Okay, now we'll do it. 2.
Just looking at this game, looking at the defensive strategy of Sehome, putting the smaller Kettman on leap, and then putting the big Mark Spink, who has got a lot of maneuverability, checking the point guard Eric Swanson. That was a good move. Brett Kettman has just done a good job of denying the ball from Grant Lee.
Here goes Kettman, 3-on-1. Easy layup for Chapman on the assist to Kettman.
So unselfish. Give the ball up to your teammate.
Hershberg splits the defense, goes up. That's a goaltend called against Spink. And I don't think he needed to, Joe, because I don't think it would have gone in.
I'll tell you what impressed me. He hit that ball about, looked like 2 feet above the basket.
A 23-point lead for the top-ranked team in the state. And they're showing that it's an honor well-deserved to this point. But, you know, thinking what happens, for instance, to the Sonics, they do all these great things. If they don't win in the postseason, everybody forgets, I guess.
Well, I'm sure Sehome's thinking about that. They've talked about that a lot, I'm sure.
Oh, look at Spink. Missed the rebound. Joey Anderson gets it. Puts it up. No. Boy, that Spink is active around the board.
Just relentless in there. And
he knocked it out of bounds that time.
You see players as big as Mark, and you see players, you know, maybe as quick as him, but he's got that relentlessness about him, his tenacity on those boards. He just never stops playing. He's like a buzzsaw out there. 6'7" buzzsaw. That's a big buzzsaw.
This is Holloman back in the game. 21, Collins, the sophomore. Finally winds up in the hands of Kruger. Kruger is stuck. Out to Collins. Throws the 3 up. Missed it. Joey Anderson looked down court. Decided he better not throw a long pass. Kettman. No, there's Spink. Use the left hand, too. I know, he's so darn skinny, he gets position. He knifes right past these people, Joe.
Yeah, he doesn't use any bulk in there, that's for sure, but he's got so much quickness. It's just you can't keep him off the board.
Nice play. But Lynn couldn't throw the left-hander in the hoop. Foul called on the rebound.
Well, we hear it so often, Rod. The most important thing you can bring to any game, any competition in life, is your attitude. And certainly, both teams have great attitudes. We're not saying that they don't, but tonight, Sehome has just stepped it up a notch from what we've seen this year, and having to play a team a 4th time like Mount Vernon and come away with such a convincing win as this is, it's very impressive.
I think I mentioned it earlier in the season, but the thing you like about these two teams, there aren't a bunch of whiners and moaners out there. If something goes against them, they shuck it off and go right back to work.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of that, that's for sure. They don't have enough time. They're moving around so much. They don't have time to be whining.
The shooter is Kettman.
But I think as a Mount Vernon coach, you know, you're getting hammered here, but you also have to look at the way the other kids have kind of stepped up and contributed so much tonight. And the end of this season here, I think they're looking real good as they go into that state tournament next week.
Kettman just got into double figures. That was his 10th point on that last successful free throw. Shooting from the corner, Lynn. No. Rebound, Koskela, who's back in. Ahead to Chapman. Then there's a held ball. Possession, Sehome. Now Kettman leaves, and coming in to replace him, first time we've seen him really in a game, is Matt Stull, a 6'2" junior. He wears number 22. This is Koskela outside to Stull. Stull decides to shoot off the back rim. Chapman's rebound shot missed. Then Joey Anderson gets it. Well, they're scrapping for that ball.
That's big Brian. That's big Brian Whitehead, though, number 24. He's a 9th grader. There's Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a bad pass all the way out of bounds.
He's scrapping in there. And look at this Mount Vernon roster. You know, they only have, I think, 3 seniors on it, so they're going to fare very well next year as well.
And now Coach Fitterer starts to put in some of his reserves. Josh Terrell, number 10, a sophomore, is in. Both teams are putting in reserves. Chapman has hit 10 points this quarter for a total of 18 for the game. 70-40 is the amazing score, with reserves in for both clubs now to finish out the final 2 minutes and 35 seconds. There's a bad pass in.
defensive player using his head there.
There's pass knocked away, picked up by Josh Terrell. Came up from the JVs, really. Played a lot of JV ball this year. Oops, passes off the fingertips of Corbin Stratton. Out of bounds.
Well, this has got to be exciting for all these kids out here. Obviously, Mount Vernon doesn't like losing, but being down here in Heck-Ed with just a great crowd here, getting a chance to play on this beautiful facility, it's got to be a highlight of a career.
There's another held ball, and this will be possession to Mount Vernon. Well, you expect it to be a little rough with the deep reserves in the game. This will be Dane Jacobs, number 4, passing into Todd Haberly, number 3. Haberly tries a moving one-hander, and there's a foul called, and he'll shoot 2. Haberly is a freshman. How about that? 5'10". We're under the 2-minute mark now. It's been decided, let's face it. But they're playing it out and giving these reserves some valuable playing time. Good on the second for Haberly.
Easy now, guys, easy.
Josh Terrell handling out front. Matt Stoll is 22.
Sehome still in that matchup zone.
Ball goes into big Justin Pendry. And a ball. Oh, too many passes and too many hands that aren't grasping the ball.
He did a good job, I thought, of attacking at that time. He just got the pass down there where it's tough to catch. That's at the toes.
Kruger came in for Mount
Even
Vernon,
short people have trouble bending over and pick the ball up down there.
This is Felmley with the ball, lost it. Here comes Haberly, freshman. Leaves it off for Dane Jacobs. And shooting from the corner, missing. Nice rebound by number 23. That's Danny McManus, a 6'6" sophomore. He's fouled and will shoot a couple. Well, you'd think some of the crowd would be departing, but there's another game coming up, a championship game.
Boy, if you like basketball, this is a great place to be today. I like that Mount Vernon roster out there, Rod. You got 23 McManus on there, sophomore, 6'6". You got Whitehead, 6'7", freshman. You got little Haberly out there, freshman. Who else we got out there? Scott Collins, a sophomore. And 25, Eric Kruger, junior. So it's good for Mount Vernon in the future.
Kruger went up into the air with something. I guess the ball was knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. And another change. Scott Collins comes back in. He replaces Haberly. Sophomore for a freshman. From the corner, a miss. A rebound by Stull. Looks for help. Finds it in the person of Josh Terrell. There's an up and under shot, no good. Put up on the rebound by Felmley, no. Ahead to Jacobs. He's poke checked away. 2-on-1 they come, and a blocking foul called against Danny McManus of Mount Vernon.
Well, all these Sehome players have good hands. You can see what they do in practice a lot. They practice that pressure defense, using their hands in the passing lanes all the time, because here we have the reserves in there for Sehome. They're doing the same thing, creating turnovers.
This is Kyle Felmley with the shot. Now, Sehome's been stuck on 70 points for quite a while, ever since they took their horses out. And still haven't scored past 70. And there's another held ball, or possibly a foul. No, it is a held ball, and possession goes to Sehome. Pendry tries to shoot. He's fouled.
You're talking about those young players for Mount Vernon. That's Justin Pendry. He's a big 6'4" strapping kid for Sehome, a sophomore. Back next couple of years.
Well, he looks like a tight end material, doesn't he?
Shoots the ball real well.
Well, we finally got to 71 points. They average almost 80 per game. Kruger. Tried to feed inside, intercepted. Here comes Stratton. Stratton tries to shoot and is an offensive foul as he plowed into the set defensive player.
Now, I didn't make a good decision there, but Corbin did a good job at the other end of the court when he got the interception. It looked like they had a little screen and roll there set up, except for they didn't anticipate Corbin coming across, giving good backside help and getting that steal.
Oh, clean steal. And no basket at the end. So the game is over. A 30-point decision in favor of the top-ranked Sehome Mariners, who score their 4th consecutive win this season over the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, who are not that bad a team, I will clue you. Okay, we'll check in with the final stats and other comments right after we take this break on Viacom's Game of the Week.
Tuesday night on TNT.
Michael Jordan with a miracle shot.
Wednesday night, it's TBS.
Miller to the ball.
Back to Friday night on TNT.
Van Exel.
3 nights, 2 networks, 1 amazing game. It's the NBA on TNT and TBS. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday night.
As we wrap up this one, you might see in the background a girls team coming on from Bothell High School. Bothell will play Lake Washington, a game we are not covering, but you will know about it by the time this is aired, of course. Well, the Sehome Mariners really looked like the #1 team in the state, winning by 30 points over a Mount Vernon Bulldog team that just didn't get going in the second half at all, Joe Richer.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. They are definitely show that they're #1, Rod. They're playing a team for the 4th time, and a very good team in Mount Vernon. The team has only been beaten 4 times now, and by the same team, Sehome High School, and then they held them to 42 points, as you pointed out.
And only 17 points for the entire second half.
Yeah, it was just a great team performance by Sehome tonight. Certainly nothing for Mount Vernon to be ashamed of. I know they'll come back and do quite well in the district or in the state tournament starting next week. Looking at the scoring first for Mount Vernon, Nick Lynn had 5 points. He had those 5 in the first half. Scott Collins, 3. Danny McManus, 1. Grant Leap, 4 points this game. And it was just a team defense, but I thought Ryan Kettman did a great job of just denying the ball to Grant. The only time he could get it would be in the was out away from the basket, and that's not where he's used to getting the ball and scoring from. Eric Swanson, 6. Chris Hersberg, who was around the ball the whole game, had 12 points. Taylor Jones, who had 10 in the first half, did not score in the second half. So he ended the game with 10 points, and Todd Haverly had 1. For the game, Mount Vernon was 14 for 48, 29%. And we'd have to say a lot of that credit must go to that tenacious Sehome defense. From the foul line, Mount Vernon was 8 for 15, which is 53%. And they turned the ball over 16 times, 11 times in that second half.
Now for the Mariners.
Well, again, they had 4 kids in double figures, it looks like, Rod, and they have those 4 same players they average in double figures, so that's pretty typical of the Sehome team. Jared Stevenson, 16, did a good job of playmaker out there, getting the ball to a lot of his teammates. Brady Gustafson, who I thought played quite well out there, 6 points. Jeff Chapman, a player that we saw light it up earlier this year, didn't score in the first half, came back and scored 18 points in the second half to lead Sehome in scoring. Ryan Ketman contributed 10, did a good job, as I said before, checking Grant Leap. Justin Pendry, 2. Keith Koskela, who was in foul trouble a lot in this game, had 3. And Mark Spink, their very versatile inside player, showed his talent in there, scored 17 points. Let's look at here from the field. Sehome was 24 for 59, which is 41%. You know, that's far below their normal average of something like around 57%. And, that's a credit to the Mount Vernon defense. They played tough out there. From the foul line, they were 16 for 23, which is 70%. And just like Mount Vernon, they had 16 turnovers, 11 in the second half. Also, let's see, total fouls here, we had 8 there in that first quarter, so that doesn't make anything.
No, wasn't a factor. The fouls were not a factor in the game.
But we saw a great game, Rod. Sitting right here where we did, it was just both teams played extremely hard out there, but Sehome was definitely the best team out here tonight.
And both go on to greater things. The Big State Tournament, which is going to be held down at the Key Arena starting next Wednesday, and we hope they get big crowds down there. Okay, this is our wrap-up game for the season. So I'd like to credit our crew, the booth crew, of course, Joe Richer and Mark Richer on stats, our trusty stats man. And, of course, our technical crew has been sensational all year. They get better every year, it seems. Ed Escalona in charge, and his able assistants are Tim Stansberry and Eric Hellman. And we've got our trusty sound man most of the time, John Landis. All the rest of the crew. I can't get all the names in, but we love you guys. All right, that's about it with the Sehome Mariners staying unbeaten, winning 72-42. Now this is Rod Belcher from Eck Edmondson Pavilion saying good night on Viacom's Game of the Week.